Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is July 23rd, and right now we're looking at yesterday morning's visible satellite imagery. You can see the marine layer that pushed in towards the Cascades here, keeping things much cooler as we went through the day yesterday for places west of the Cascades. You can also see the areas of a morning thunderstorm activity that moved across some of eastern Washington, and you see that move up towards eastern British Columbia as we went through the day. Now we scroll on in through yesterday, and you can see how that marine layer really held on here. Nature's air conditioning just in full effect there yesterday across much of the area. It did break out across a lot of portions of western Oregon, however, and you can see all the thunderstorm activity and the fire activity here on the GOES 18 satellite imagery across eastern Oregon into Idaho and western Montana. So we scroll through the evening hours, sunset comes, and you can see there was some lightning strikes there across British Columbia here, and a lot of lightning across central and northern British Columbia and portions of Alberta yesterday as well. No doubt going to be kicking off the fires up there. So if we scroll into the nighttime hours and we scroll in towards this morning here right now, you can kind of see we're still dealing with some lower clouds here across western Washington, still getting that onshore flow, and you can see the smoke smoldering here before the fires start to get ramped up again here as we go through this afternoon across much of the region. I wanted to play this for you guys here. This is what goes on. This is Three Tree Point. It's the Puget Sound here. We had some low-level moist flow, and that gets pushed up. An orographic cloud here forms across Three Tree Point there. As you get some fog, that's getting slammed up against the terrain, gets brought up, and it cools a little bit here, and it condenses. So then you get that fog right there in Three Tree Point. I had my drone running this time lapse here, and this is the feature that happens between about 12 to 24 times a year, and it's pretty fun to watch. I can get a pretty good view of this at my house. I like to run time lapse of this. I'm actually going to do a video on this someday, probably in the next couple of months. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you guys. And if you guys want to monetarily support the channel, you get a lot of questions about this. That is the join button. If you want to do so right there, and the subscribe button right here. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, that is free to do so. So yeah, join and subscribe. It's all right there and just off to the bottom of the screen. So taking a look here at what was going on yesterday, I want to point out all this lightning activity across British Columbia and towards Alberta here. I mean, there's already a lot of fires ongoing here, and no doubt this is going to kick off a whole bunch more, a new huge batch of fires across the region there. So, it's that same cat and mouse game we're going to be dealing with as we go through this summer. If we get some of that onshore flow with all this fire activity, all the smoke pumping out here, this can easily bring some nasty conditions down into Vancouver, Seattle, and Portland, and other areas across the Pacific Northwest. We scroll on in towards this morning here, and you can kind of see the sun start to rise across the area. Now, taking a look at today, this is an isolated dry thunderstorm potential. It does include Butte, Boise, portions of southeast Oregon. But look at tomorrow, Boise, Butte, and Missoula, scattered, isolated thunderstorm activity here. A little bit actually much more of a rare classification here on the SPC. So the brown is the outlined isolated dry. This is scattered dry, and the orange here is elevated fire risk. Some gusty conditions, low relative humidities. I'm going to show you some of that in the weather models here coming up in a moment for some of the east slopes of Washington and Oregon will be coming. And Spokane is onto this as well. They are always on top of it. Gusty winds to 40 miles per hour with low relative humidities. Fires will be capable of spreading rapidly and will be difficult to contain. Now, looking at Seattle yesterday, check this out. We are 20 degrees cooler yesterday than we were back on the 20th here. Just a glorious day out there. I love it when we get these breaks from the heat, and it may be tough to get back towards the 80-degree mark here over the next couple of days here as well. So pretty intense streak there, all-time record streak actually of 80 plus at SeaTac, and now we have definitely cooled down. Yesterday was 9 degrees below average. Trace of precipitation, still no measurable precipitation just yet. There's a chance of something coming up here, and I'm going to show you that in the weather models here in a moment. If you want a nice affordable home weather station, lightning detection system with that ultrasonic anemometer, stores all the data for you in the cloud, builds its own forecast for you. So yeah, click on that link down below if you want to order one. Great smartphone app there as well. Now, taking a look at what is coming, this is the European control run here. So we're looking at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. Onshore flow troughing all the way up across western BC down towards Vancouver Island, and you can see this troughing is going to be with us here as we go through this week coming up. Get a little bit of a break from it there, but you can kind of see it hangs on here across some of the west a little bit. So it's going to be enough to keep any extreme heat away from the Pacific Northwest in the short term here coming up. Things can always change, but the closer you get off into the future here, of course the confidence in the forecast does increase. But yeah, this troughing looks like it's going to be hanging on through the weekend coming up, and we'll be revisiting that daily. So looking at the apparent temperature, this takes into account wind chill temperature, and you can see of course western Washington, western Oregon, Oregon, eastern Washington, eastern Oregon. And you'll see, the difference between the east sides of the mountains, the west side of the mountains here as we go through the day today. I scroll through here and you can kind of see some nice, comfortable temperatures there west of the Cascades, and not nearly as bad today as it has been in previous days for, Idaho, down in the valley areas, Boise. Definitely going to feel a bit cooler today. And then we scroll on in towards tomorrow as well, and you can kind of see Mother Nature's air conditioning really keeping the Willamette Valley, Puget Sound, Southwest BC much more comfortable. And of course, the cooling will be felt even eastern portions of Washington and Oregon as well. Now, if we take a look at the North American model here, so this is hot off the press. Let me update that because new data is coming in as I speak. But as we go through these afternoon hours for today, watch these winds kick up on the east slopes of the Cascades, and these are going to be combined with some very low relative humidities. Nice little surge coming down the Strait of Juan de Fuca here as well, keeping things cool for places like Whidbey Island, some of the San Juans. Then we scroll on in through Wednesday, and you can see those gusty winds really ramping up here as we go through the afternoon and the evening hours. You're also getting these erratic, gusty outflow winds for some thunderstorm activity here for Wednesday afternoon for eastern Oregon, moving on into Idaho. So, of course, that lightning will be out there striking things, and then you get these gusty winds, which can be rapid fire growth and rapid fire spread across eastern Oregon Wednesday afternoon and evening. So have your wits about you for that one. Taking a look here, and again, let me update that because this data is coming in as we speak. Now, this is the morning time here. You can see the relative humidity is fairly high. West portions, Cascades here. Eastern Washington, Oregon, much lower. But watch what happens as we go through the afternoon hours today. You can see these relative humidities really drop off here. And that's why those gusty winds and any kind of fire that does start out there or is ongoing just can, really spread rapidly. And then we go through the overnight hours into Wednesday morning. And you can see, again, the afternoon comes around and we really drop those relative humidities across the area. Then you can see the thunderstorm activity here as we go through Wednesday evening. And now taking a look at the European ensemble mean, this is a wider view of things here. This is the Gulf of Alaska. You can see British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon here. So I just want to kind of show you the general trough position. Again, it's going to be hanging out with us as we go through the end of the week here. A decent ridge out over the Gulf of Alaska here, but keeping us cool downstream. And you can kind of see the trough hanging out here a bit. And then the next one wants to start to come in here on last night's European model run here and kind of keep us, seasonable temperatures here, and maybe seasonably cool across some areas of the Pacific Northwest. So taking a look at what that would mean here, this is 6-hour precipitation and got 850 millibar temperature and mean sea level pressure on here as well. But you can see we've got this system that is going through here today and kind of impacting British Columbia. Some more thunderstorms probably up across there in Alberta. But as we go on in through the next couple of days as well, you're also getting some pretty decent rainfall. That can help with some of the fire activity there as well. But those fires are, some of them are pretty strong up there, and they're going to be difficult to extinguish just with one system moving across. And then we move on in towards this weekend, and you can kind of see we do get a little bit of showery activity here across some of western Washington, Vancouver Island as well. And let me actually back this up. Let's go all the way back towards Thursday. You can kind of see this system does clip western Washington here. Maybe a couple showers associated with that, especially across the North Cascades into British Columbia. We'll see how that trends here over the next couple of days. We'll take a look at that and the high resolution models for tomorrow as well. But yeah, definitely no heat wave in sight here for much of the Pacific Northwest as we roll through this weekend. That's the good news. And Seattle, Tacoma, you can kind of see that reflected in the temperatures here, but then bouncing back as we go through the end of the month. Perhaps by the time we get back towards the Seafair weekend coming up, I think that's October 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We could be much warmer here across some of the region. We'll be watching that as well. Try to keep you up to date for that. So daily 2-meter max temperature. This is for today, Tuesday, national blend of models. And then we go through tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, staying below 80 for Seattle, some mid 80s here for the Willamette Valley, but definitely cooler conditions east of the Cascades also. Then we go Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can kind of see that gradual warming trend as we go towards the end of the month and early August. Again, take that with a grain of salt at that range. 6 to 10 day, not much help there. Some near normal warmer temperatures inland, and then you go 6 to 10 day. And they're kind of painting this here just because we have some troughing around here, but it's no guarantee of much measurable precipitation as well. But we'll be breaking down any kind of system that might be coming our way starting tomorrow. We'll take a little bit closer look at that. Some of the models have been flip-flopping on just some of the potential for precipitation here across the region, but either way, it doesn't look like it's going to amount to too much. And this is 7-day significant wildland significant fire potential. This is Monday, and you can see for eastern Oregon especially, especially. We got the lightning strike potential here, especially as we go through Wednesday there. And there's going to be critical burn environment. Probably could upgrade this across NW5 as well. Those gusty winds, low relative humidities. NW10 is going to kind of be under the gun as well. It includes Spokane, Ritzville, Moses Lake, and the Tri-Cities, also in eastern Oregon slopes. And NW11 and 12, definitely that lightning threat for Wednesday. But yeah, anyway, interesting stuff there. Active weather continues here across the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully these fires don't continue to get out of hand, because we're not even really at peak season. We dry things out the most by the time we get towards August, and you can get some, you can get thunderstorm activity here all the way on and through August and September that can start these fires. So hopefully that is not going to be the case this year. I know we've got a lot of fire activity across Oregon, British Columbia especially, and there are active fires across Washington right now as well. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe, or join if you want to monetarily join the channel. And we'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.